Hello, everybody. This is probably something a little bit weird. It's definitely different. But what I thought I would do today is a bit of a pickup video, if you will. Recently went on Craigslist. I frequent Craigslist just because, I like looking for video games. It's fun. I go to flea markets and thrift stores and, places similar to that. And I do my best to find these video games. I will admit I have a preference for handheld video games, so this episode is actually only going to be Game Boy games. The majority of them are duplicates, with the exception of one game. So, not fantastic, for me at least, but there's something pretty cool in it that I found as well. We'll just go ahead and start right off with the Game Boy itself. Not a fantastic SP, as you can see, it's all scratched up. It works fine though, so it has that going for it. It's good. I just have to charge it. But regardless, I looked at the model down here. I saw that it was US, and I was really excited because I thought it was going to be a 101, but unfortunately, I don't think you can see it. But regardless, unfortunately, it was a 001. That would be right there if you could see it. I don't think you can. Probably a little blurry, but that's fine. So that works fine. That's all great. That's dandy. But we'll get into the games. I don't think I need to discuss the price. The person I bought it from, I don't think knew what they had, but regardless, I'm gonna try and stunt about that sort of thing. And all these cases I have them in are my clamshell cases, of course. I have tons of these sitting around. I love them. They're my favorite cases. I'm not gonna lie, and I love getting first-hand Nintendo cases. It always makes me happy. But the first game here we have is The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, and this is the DX version, as you can see right there. This is actually a fantastic Legend of Zelda game. I think it is highly underrated. One of the better Legend of Zelda games on the system. I think it's way better than Oracle and Ages and Seasons. Speaking of Ages and Seasons, though, here's Ages. Also came with it. This case, unfortunately, is cracked. Didn't notice that until now. Probably cracked it on my own, but regardless, this is a Game Boy Color game. Don't think I said that the other one was a original Game Boy game. But this one is Oracle of Ages. It's okay. It's a Zelda game again, so the majority of Zelda games are pretty similar gameplay-wise. The story is what really sets them apart. I love Zelda games. So I pick them up whenever I see them. A lot of other people love them as well. Figure I may as well. The third one is actually Pokemon Yellow. I have like 40 copies of this game. Not literally, of course. That is a gross overestimate, but you know what I mean. This game is everywhere. People love it. It's not in the best of condition. You can see there's some grime down there. I'm going to have to work that out. But regardless, it's not bad looking. The back especially is pretty nice aside from that. But it's actually pretty good. I tested it and all these games work, thankfully, so pretty satisfied with that. Moving on, we have one of my favorite games for the system. We have Return of Samus, the second Metroid. Literally, I would have to say one of my favorite games of all time. If this isn't one of my favorite games of all time, then the first one is. I love the Metroid games. Some of my favorites. Samus is such a cool character. I enjoy it so much. I'm going to do my best to put some either some pictures or gameplay of the games that I'm talking about over, so you don't just have to, stare at these while I sort of twirl them around. I'd rather you look at what the game is about. So if you want me to go more in-depth with these games also, then leave me a comment and tell me that I should be going more in-depth with them. Moving on, we have Kirbys Dreamland. I love the Kirby games. I think they are fantastic. And there's also the second one here. So Kirbys Dreamland 1 and 2. Both for the Game Boy. Both a ton of fun. Kirby games are relatively easy, if I'm going to be entirely honest with you. But that doesn't mean they're not fun. I think they're a lot of fun. Both of them. So, those are all the duplicate games that I got. There is one game that I did not have, and that is Tomag, which I never knew they actually had a Game Boy game for Tamagotchi. I always thought it was just those little, the little things you carried around. I didn't know it was actually a Game Boy game, but turns out it is, which is neat. 97, and it's Bandai. I knew it would be Bandai because they made the toys, but regardless, I did not know that they had a Game Boy game, so that's really neat. And then the last thing, I see it everywhere, but I've never actually owned one, and I thought it was so cool. It's a Game Boy camera, which is right here, which is cool enough, you know, a nice little Game Boy camera. And then it also has the Game Boy printer, which is really neat. But the coolest part about the printer, I don't know if you can see it there, but it actually has paper inside of it. And I never see Game Boy printers paper. That is so cool. Whenever I find Game Boy printers, they never have the paper. So I was over the moon when I saw that. That made me so happy. That's actually all I have here for Game Boy. I do have a ton more stuff that hopefully I'll be able to show off in the next video, whenever that will be. But I have a lot of PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, GameCube, that sort of stuff, and I have some boxed Game Boy Advance games that I got. So I'm gonna try my best to show some of those off. So regardless, for now, these are the games we got. I am going to again do my best to put in a little bit of gameplay if I can while I am showing them off. But regardless, also I don't think I mentioned it, but this mat that you see, this gorgeous mat, this is a Magic the Gathering mat. I got it on StarCityGames.com. Fantastic website. It's called Delver of Squeakrits, which I thought was hilarious. But regardless, I hope you all enjoyed this quick video.